Hello, everyone. Welcome to FMA Professionals. I'm your host, Datu Tim, and today's topic, we're going to be going over what the do's and don'ts of hosting martial arts seminars, camps, etc. of that nature. So, real quick, though, if you are unaware of this, what I want you to do is, if you get a chance today, please go over and check out the our YouTube channel, because we have a YouTube channel, there's two channels. If you look up YouTube Tim Hartman or Datu Tim Hartman, I got two channels. There was a big debacle with that, lost credentials. Things are better now. I found stuff, but right now it's being live broadcast to Tim Hartman. And then on YouTube, and then there's also the Datu Tim Hartman. The channels look very, very similar to each other. Eventually, I can't blend the two together, so I'm trying to figure out what direction I'm going. But in the meantime, if you get a chance, and I'll put a thing in the bottom here, you can like and follow over there. But we'll talk more about that later. Okay, so let me give you a little background on what's going on. So I've been doing martial arts since 80, unofficially, some backyard stuff, and then about 85 I got into my good stuff. Good morning there again, George. And please, if you can hear me, by all means, give me a shout out. Make sure I know you're there. I want to make sure the audio is going well, because I've had some debacles in the past with this. Hey, George, you coming out for training? Is that what's going to be happening today? Hopefully. Are you on your way? George is one of my black belts. We do a lot of R&D work around here for different stuff. But, anyways, so I've been doing stuff since the 80s, I've been teaching seminars since 86, hosting them. Great, Joe. Good to hear that you can hear me. That's Joe is logging in from Austria. And, of course, George is coming in from a far place called Lockport, sort of, which is, good morning, Blaine. Glad you're all here. Okay, so let's get into this. I've been doing seminars, since 2000. I've hosted at least 5 a year. It's over 100 events. It's 100 events, over 100 events. Prior to that, I don't recall how many I've done. So I'm going to give you some do's and don'ts. And the nice thing is, I got it from both sides. I know how it is to host something, and I know how it is to teach something. Glad to see everyone's here. Hey, Mr. Facebook user, I don't know if that's James or not, but for some reason it's coming up hidden. So, and there you go. So, let's start off this topic. So, there's a bunch of things. I actually have a checklist to my right. I actually was prepared today. I got a brand new ring light, so hopefully the visual is better. New headset so I can hear a little better as opposed to that big clunky earphones I had. So, here's what I'm going to start off with. When we do an event, to get the most bang for your buck, we need to start off with, why are we doing this? So, and please, I definitely want everyone to chime things in. Oh, everyone from Greece. Hello, brother, sister, or whomever, because I don't know who you are. You don't know. We got to start with, why are we hosting a seminar? Okay, so this could be for profit or enrichment. Now, what do I mean by enrichment? That means further education. Generally speaking, unless you really know what you're doing, I don't recommend anyone to try to host seminars to make money unless you're doing internal seminars. So there's seminars, i.e. that I teach just, that are geared just for my students, which I teach. And then there's the ones where I bring in an outside expert or specialist. So I guess that's where we have to first start off with. So specifically, I'm really gearing this towards people from the outside coming in. But let's hit the first part. Let's say you want to do seminars for your students, which I think is a great idea to get used to all the pros and cons of doing this, all the intricacies, like what am I doing wrong? What am I doing right? How do I get better at this? So first of all, we need to have a topic. Secondly, you need to have a registration form for people to sign up, some form of way of paying for this, stuff like that. If you've been wanting to do seminars, you can do a topic. Like I'm going to do a disarm topic. Now, this may be all the material that you're going to be doing in the club, but this gives them maybe an early access to it. Or what it'll also do is maybe give them more in depth and say, listen, we do disarming in class, but we're also doing Sinwalis, we're also doing this, that, and the other thing. So this is going to be a real 1 to 3 hour breakdown of how to do the disarms. Maybe you're doing reversals of disarms, how to counter a disarm, or more importantly, when I do disarm reversals, it's more to show the holes in the disarms to get us better at closing them. But that's, let's say we do staff work. I don't really have time to do that in my day-to-day classes as much as I want to. So I might have a staff seminar, might have so I do Presas Arnis. It's a synthesis of what I do here. So I studied with, I'm friends with the family. Well, I was a student of Remy and Ernesto. I'm a good friend with Roberto. I go visit him whenever I can, obviously not down during the lockdown. I really do the Presas family systems and a lot of arts that contribute to that. So, I got into Balintawak because that was the last art professor trained before forming modern Arnis. I do small circle jiu-jitsu as an enhancement because professor was best friends with Wally J. I'm not certified. It's just I've gone down that path to get more insight of the things that we were doing. I've done a lot of different things that contributed to the creation of the modern Arnis synthesis, and what I prefer to brand more as the Presas Arnis synthesis. So I might do a topic more on that, So sit there and say, all right, we do a little Balintawak, but I don't have a specialized program. Now, recently I started a weekly class on Wednesdays, just to a small select people. But what I've been also doing is to prep for black belt tests. I'll do stuff like that. Now, let's get into how to host a seminar with someone from outside the club. And there's a lot of different things we need to do. And that's, like I said, we start off the bat, profit versus enrichment. So generally, I don't host these types of seminars to make money. I may make money, but what I do is I bring people in for enrichment. So let's use the example. One of the arts I practice is Bando, a Burmese martial art. So Dr. G. I can go see Dr. G at the seminar anytime I want, which is great. But when I go attend training with somebody, so I have to take a weekend off from the club. And this is what I do for a living, So if you're a school owner, whether it be a part-time or full-time, why would you host a seminar? So, like I said, enrichment. Now, I could go to wherever I want in the country or the world to train with said people, but I've got to take time off from the club, which could possibly cancel classes, which could mess up things with customer service if I don't have people to cover my classes. I lose any type of income that was coming in that weekend because we're closed. So let's say I have to go to California, or say I have to fly anywhere. Now we're looking at, say, $300 to $500 anywhere in the continental U.S. Then I got to get a hotel. Okay, so now, you're talking $150 a night. Let's say it's $150 a night. So that's, if I get there Friday, that's Friday night, Saturday night. If I only do 2 nights. Now, if I'm going to go in, I'm going to go in big. So I'm going to at least go 3 nights, which is 4 days of training, maybe 4.5 days of training. If it's on the coast, try to get a red eye back. So if I go 3 nights, that's $450. It's $1,000 ish. So it's like $800 to $1,000 between the airfare, maybe a little more, and the hotel room. Then I got to do meals. So that's probably $50 a day. 4 days, that's $40. That could be $200. And if you're eating with a group, like let's say you go to a training camp, everyone might, they're going to restaurants, which usually are more expensive than the norm. You might end up paying out $1,500, and that doesn't even cover training. So my idea of hosting a seminar is that I can bring people into my place. I can put them up. I'm lucky I have a place to put them in my house. I've got multiple guest rooms. And most of the people that come in are okay with that, but I'm prepared to put them in hotels as well. I have a corporate rate at a local hotel I've got worked out. So you could work these things up that this is the official hotel for the school and get a decent rate. So right around the corner, I've got our hotel that we're using at the moment is the Country Inn and Suites. So rates just went up. Obviously, COVID, things are getting a little different. So I get a king bed or 2 queen bed room, any of the normal bedrooms with 1 king or 2 queens. That is $99 a night plus tax. Or I can get a suite, which is either 1 king or 2 queens, separate room with a pull-out couch, and that's $119 a night. Now, and if they're bringing people with them and stuff, blah, blah, blah. Still, $119 a night. Well, obviously, there's going to be taxes. That includes, you got your room. They've got a hot breakfast, which they are serving right now, more of a cafeteria style. They have a pool, which you can do by appointment, and then the gym should be opening up shortly. But in normal situations, they have all that going on, which is a great thing also to send guests who are attending the seminar that you're hosting. So it's good to have this set up as well. So, people, I just had one of my guys today. They're coming to the spring camp. Where should I stay? I just gave him the information. He's working out a schedule. When you do a corporate rate versus a block of rooms, now I don't recommend a block of rooms. I recommend corporate rate. So corporate rate, you get the same rate all year round. Where a block of rooms, you might have to guarantee a certain amount of rooms for the event. And they usually let the rooms go long before martial artists register. We are procrastinators like there are no tomorrow. And most hotels these days, they have a 24-hour cancellation period. So a lot of times, the best thing to do is, like right now I'm telling everybody, if you're coming to either the May camp that we're doing in 2 weeks, or the August camp, the Remy Presas Memorial Camp at the end of August, book the rooms now. If it turns out you don't do it, you can always cancel the room 24 hours beforehand. So, I got a place for people to stay, both the instructor and or the participants, if I get out-of-school participants. I can have them at my home. And when I have them at my home, okay, hotel costs are off the board, okay? Now, when I do seminars, I really don't care. I'll tell people, listen, stay where you want. I can help you out. I'm looking at Facebook, too, while we're talking about this, because I want to make sure that the broadcast is going. People ask where they want to go and stuff like that. Okay, so I sidetracked. My fault. Sorry. So, you need to know where to send people. You need to tell them where to go. You need to know where you can and cannot host an instructor. If they're willing to stay at my place, like I said, I've got two guest bedrooms and plenty of room. All I got to do is pay for meals. Okay. So now all I have to deal is with the seminar fee. Now, what could that be? I've paid $1,500 to $2,000. And sometimes that includes the airfare, So now, let's say I bring someone into town that, I used to bring Dr. G into town. He liked me. He charged only $1,000. So I flew him up. Most of the time he stayed at the house because he loved my dogs. I paid the seminar fee, and he was coming from Columbus at the time, so... that was like a $250 flight, so that's $1,250. Okay, I didn't have to close any of my classes. I could run all of my classes, and my people get to see him walk through the door, and some get excited, and next thing you know, they're signing up last minute. Now, once again, I'm talking about enrichment. So this is exactly why I brought Dr. G in. I went to a couple of his training camps. They were outdoor events. Not my cup of tea. And I'm sorry, I'm greedy, I'm selfish. I want him to meet for me. I don't want to share him with all these people. So when I go to his camp, I have no choice but to share him. When I bring him to Buffalo, before he retired, I set everything. I set the schedule. I get to ask questions whenever I want. I set the topics. You're paying for an employee basically to do work for you. Now I'm not belligerent about that, and I realize that there's certain topics that he might not want to teach me, and it could be the fact that I have to learn this first before I do that. Some topics he just might sit there and say, "Listen, I don't teach this until people I know and I vet that," and I get that. I mean, I don't teach offensive blade work for quite some time because I'm concerned what people might use or abuse it. So now, when I host a seminar, I charge a fee. Now, I don't care if I lose money because I'm not losing money. I'm getting back the investment I would have done if I would have flown down to train with him. Now, fortunately, where he was, I could have driven because there's no quick way to get there by flight. But it was a 6-7 hour. It was like, he's 2 hours south of Columbus, where he used to live. So that's a 7-8 hour drive, depending on traffic. So that's 16 hours round trip. I had to get a hotel, meals, extra stuff like that. Okay. Once again, close my school down and stuff like that. I could start and finish the day in my own bed. I mean, the benefit of that alone is great, And like I said, we already talked about if I had to pay all that money, before training, So having him come to Buffalo cost me $1,200 plus meals. Okay, versus me spending $1,200 to $1,500 going somewhere and not have any training yet. So but once again, when I host the seminars, you got, if you're looking for enrichment, get your mind wrapped around that. If this is what you're looking to do, what you need to think about is that you're not losing money. Mall Morney, oh my God, my brother from another mother. I haven't heard from you in a long time. Hey, when things get up, we got to do that seminar you were talking about, that double header, brother. I hope you and the family are doing well, my friend. So, anyways. You could stay home, host somebody, not disrupt your life. I'm doing hybrid seminars right now where I'm doing monthly gigs. I'm making good money. I don't have to leave the club. Now I bring somebody in. I realize I'm spending that for my education. When I do this thing, like let's Mall Morning. We're at Mall Morning. I love the guy. Okay. When I do C-Lot, this is the guy I do it with. I've seen Mall Morney in Toronto, Detroit, DC, and wait for it, Rome, Italy. I was doing a tour over there. I was in Naples while he was teaching in Rome. I shot down to attend the seminar. This guy is top notch. But if I had him in for a seminar, for me to learn the C-Lot more in depth, opening up to the public is just deferring my cost. So, if I come up $500 short, I didn't lose $500. I only invested $500 in that education. And, wait for it, people say, well, everyone else offered, they only had to pay like $100 a head or whatever you're doing. It doesn't matter. I mean, because I'm going to get more time with the person. I'm going to really dig in deep, get my stuff going, and I'm learning material that I can teach later. Okay, if I learn one technique, I have that for the rest of my life. Okay, so when I do this, I look for enrichment. I look to see if I can monetize it, make money off of it while I'm doing it. If I break even, I didn't. I made a profit because now I have that material for the rest of the life, and I can teach that material. Now, and that's what I do. I pay for continuing education. That's it. I do all these different systems to keep me sharp, to look how they sometimes, like I hung around, everyone thought I was a Kempo guy for a while. I never did Kempo. My friends did Kempo and I cross-trained with them, but I never have any rank in Kempo whatsoever. But I know a lot about Kempo. But I look at Kempo not about that as a martial system for me to train, but I like their delivery system. I like how they explain things. Things have code words. You'll hear this technique called clutching feathers. It's a hair grab. When I do seminars, when I attend seminars, when I host seminars, I look for these bits and pieces that I'm sitting there and say, hey, listen, I don't need a new system all the time, but what can I learn from that system? It's not like what they do, it's how they do and why they do. And sometimes they have a better way of explaining things than we do. So right there, we got to have that mindset. And like I said, for me, I bring someone in for continuing education. So it's not about making money off it. And I can invest a lot less money by hosting them in my school. There we go. Invest, because we're investing in our future and our students. So I get this. I bring someone in to continue my education. So let's say I have, let's say it cost me $2,000 to bring in Maul. I can open it up huge, or I can have a private thing. I can sit there and say, all right, 20 spots, $100 a head. Wow, that pays for it right there. If I get 20 people, which having Maul morning in, Maul brings in people. Okay. With everything said and done, no matter, once again, it's about deferring the cost of my investment in my future education. Now, let's talk about how we promote this event. So we need to have proper flyers. Now, what people make the mistake, and if you're doing YouTube, and I'm going to see about or not YouTube, Facebook. I'm pulling up on my other screen right now. A lot of times people overdo flyers. They put way too much information in there because, like, let's say you're using this, you're doing this on promoting it on Facebook, which is a really great way because, wait for it, Facebook is free. Instagram is free. Wait for it. So is Twitter. Now, the thing, unfortunately, if you don't have a big following, you may not be able to promote it through yourself, so you have to go to other forums and discussion groups inside of Facebook to put it out there, which is great. I mean, Facebook, I think, has the most versatility. For a business, it is the number one. I know some people don't like Facebook, politics and all this other stuff. Listen, at the end of the day, it's a free service. And if they don't want certain things on there, you know what? Build your own platform. When I used to host a discussion group, if I didn't like what was on there because I was concerned about what kind of trouble it might cause, get stuff off there. But for the business, I will say this. Facebook, during COVID, helped save my business. And we can talk about that in the future. There's so many free tools in there. And then you can also pay money to get a better bang for your buck. So I'm pulling up... let me see. What do I got going on here? I'm going to pull up an event. Holy cow. I don't have a lot of this. Okay, here we go. So I haven't done my due diligence. And let me tell you something. When I'm telling you stuff, some things I'm not doing exactly what I'm telling you to do. And when you sit there and say, well, why aren't you doing it? Because you're not me. You haven't done this. You haven't built that clientele. So there's a lot of steps I can skip because I have a clientele already built waiting to come to my events. But while you're doing that, you have to know the do's and don'ts for that. And then, and even still, you know what? I got to do more because I can make it more beneficial. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to present a screen. I'm going to come up with, yeah. I don't know why he keeps telling. I'm going to hit don't show me these tips anymore. Well, I should probably keep that in there just because. So I'm going to go over to my Facebook page. So this is my event announcement. Now, I'm going to do this via Tim Hartman because you're going to see me as Datu Tim, the host. This is on my Datu Tim Facebook page, and it's taking time for me to switch over my profile. Okay. Okay. So now I'm viewing this as a participant, not as my as me. So here is the cover art. Now I made this on Canva. Once again, Canva. I will be putting a link down below because I do now have an affiliate program with them. I just have to do stuff. But, I made the flyer. I didn't jam pack everything in here. Just did some minor stuff. Okay, what's the title? What's the topic? The date. And it's on Google Meet. Okay. People don't read. They're lazy. They want everything here. But unfortunately, there's a rule, or there used to be a rule, and still think it's here in Facebook, where if you want to do paid advertising in the future, because this is a hybrid event, so sometimes I'll advertise it in other countries to get participants. If more than 20% of this is of the graphic is text, then they won't monetize, or they won't let you advertise. It's like 20 or 30%. So I try to keep it at a bare minimum because all the details are down here. So what's the time? It is noon to 2. It's at Horizon Martial Arts. It's a hybrid event, though. I put that up there, and this is phase 1. I should have a bigger description. That's on me. But I have the seminars held in person or on Google Meet. I put that at the bottom of the flyer, and there's the Google Meet logo. It's got the location here, and here's a ticket button. Oh, no, I don't have the ticket button in yet. Tickets are over here. I'm an idiot. I don't register for events like this. I'm the one that sets everything up. So I click the button, and it brings it over to the portal I use. Now I use Spark. I like it. I know there's other office management, martial arts school management stuff out there. So I have all the information here. A little extra icon here. I get capture all the information in this for my students, and then what's the fee? It's $35. What's the date? September 18th, and it's Tappy Tappy Phase 1. So I actually have a whole series of. I'm gonna stop. Hold on one second. I'm gonna stop sharing, and because I'm gonna open something up. Just as an FYI. So you can have people sign up via Square and other things too out there, do stuff via PayPal, but I've got a pre-done page, so I'm going to open up my checkout pages. There we go. So now, I don't know why I'm down there. It's a little slow today. So now, what I can do is go through and look at all the different checkout pages. So I just put up a thing for private lessons, a 5-pack of those. And normally, so you can click on that and see what it is. Here are my sales over here, which is 0 because I just put it up there the other day. I have a Halloween tournament we're doing. Mother's Day kids not out for the school. So I've got 2 people signed up for that so far. It's one sale, but it covers 2 people. But it's Mother's Day. People will sign up later. The staff seminar, which I have a bunch of people who are going to be signing up over the weekend right now. Here's my sales, so I can view the purchases, and it tells me that 2, 3, 4, and someone signed up for the wrong one. That was my fault. So 5 people so far have signed up for that. The kickboxing that I'm doing at the moment. And it's got all this stuff in there, the camps, stuff like that, as people are signing up for different things. So I have all this stuff going on. And it's a good platform for registration. So when they click something, it'll take it to that phase. Like, so my website takes them to the respective checkout pages. Here's Tappy Tappy Phase 4. So you can sign up for that, So that's, now, but when we do the flyer, don't jam everything in the image. It's hard. Like I said, it's the masterclass series featuring me. Its topic is Modern Arnis Tappy Tappy, Phase 1. The date, which I really don't need it there, per se. But I like putting it there because people don't read. There's a bunch of information here. There isn't any information. I didn't put it in there, but this would be the topic and information, and then you can get your page, and I can share and stuff like that. This is all free on Facebook. I mean, not the merchant service stuff. And recently I just found out they do things for tournaments. And by the way, next week's topic is going to be how to run a tournament, and stuff like that. And once again, do's and don'ts. And there's going to be some good information in there as well, hopefully, that you will like that. So, but, if you jam-pack everything in the cover, it's hard to read, okay? Like right here I go, okay, so Datu's Corner on Monday is going to be, wait for it, should black belt certification expire? I already got people giving me grief on this, and I think most people will actually agree with me once they hear what the thing is, but we're going to talk about that, so would love to see everybody there. Once again, here it is. Here's a description, okay? So should black belt certification expire? Datu's Corner Live. Join Datu Hartman for this broadcast, addressing whether black belt certifications have an expiration date, okay? You can watch and participate on Facebook Monday, May 3rd, and it should be I'm dyslexic, and sometimes things go at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. The show will be broadcasted on the World Modern Arnis Alliance Facebook page and group, Datu Hartman's Facebook page, profile and page, YouTube channel as well. Okay, so it's got all that information there if people decide to read. I've got people already not reading, so people are starting to argue with me. I got someone challenging me now. So, like I said, we don't want to jam too much stuff in here, but another Datu's Corner Live will be on the 11th. It'll be a special time at 1 o'clock on Monday, and it's Americanized Arnis. Is it better than the original Filipino version? And I got someone from the Philippines challenging me because they said I should try them, and I didn't say we were better. It's just a topic. So, but it's good because people are looking. Facebook can promote stuff. Okay, so I'm going down a rabbit hole, so I'm going to get back to where we're going. All right, so there's nothing wrong with print flyers, but usually schools aren't really interested in this. I do print flyers in my club. So I have them all over the place. People walk through the door, bang, right when you walk in. What I also do is have slideshows. I have multiple television screens because I do virtual classes. I've got one in the lobby. We used to watch the news on that. Now I keep the news off because, well, it's the news, and we know what the news is, and we don't want to watch that anymore. But I'll have slideshows that I've created on Canva. Go figure. And it will promote upcoming events. I'm seeing if I have one here. No, I do not have one in the queue at the moment because I have to update. So what it'll do is it'll show, like, hey, what's the topic of the week? What's going on? Any special events during the week, i.e. the parties. So if I go back to that, here we go. I'll do this. So this is how you advertise it in your club. That's the point of my conversation. Because sometimes I'm like, well, what's your point, Tim? So, I'm actually looking to see if I have something on there. But I have a smart TV. I prefer to use smart TVs. Okay, here we go. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is share this here. So, so here's my Canva stuff. I'm going to play this so we can see it. So first thing it does, Horizon Martial Art update. And, my TV's new enough where it'll allow it to play MP4s. If I couldn't, and it could do a slideshow, I would do each of these as a PNG or JPEG. All right, so we just finished this week up as Forms and Fighting, and then it'll go into an advertising. Wait for it. Here it is, the Flow Staff Seminar that I'm teaching this Saturday. And then here's the Mother's Day party we're having the following week. And then from there we do other things. So we'll talk about testing, which is coming up on the 10th through the 13th. And each group. Now, it flows better when it's on the television. This is, it's a little laggy right now. So I go through this, and this is a phenomenal method of internal advertising. It's free, providing you have the technology there. So I have a television posted on my training floor. I have it on the wall, so I can do the virtual and hybrid classes. And here's a good one. I put the kids' belts up there, which I have to update. I'm behind on this, so people can see what belt level everybody is, and they can see the progression. We have testing next in 2 weeks, so everyone will go up. And I was like, oh, look, my kid's name's up there. Isn't that great? So, and I just do the first name and last initial. I don't want to get into any other issues there. People know who we are. Also, it takes up too much real estate. And there we go. And that covers all the black belts ever produced by the school. Boom. And it just goes, and it starts. And then, yep, we're a proud supporter of the Buffalo Bills, Sabres, and the Bandits professional lacrosse team, in case anyone wondering what that is. They were national champions a couple times. And then I have a bunch of these on queue, so I can just take stuff and move them around. I would change the dates. When I do this, when I set up this thing down here below all the screens, if I'm going to make a video, I could go and just pick certain pages to show up, and I can skip a whole bunch as I create this. So I can say done, but I'm not going to do any of that. Okay. So there's a way of internal advertising. I announce it at the beginning and end of our classes. I make sure that everyone understands one thing, that a seminar is extracurricular and people don't have to do it, but I make sure that they understand, listen, I'm letting you know because I want you to have the right of refusal, not, oh, geez, I wish I would have known about it if you would have only told me. And I've had that happen in the past. I forgot to tell certain people, and it just, it was just a mistake, and, I go from there. So, proper flyers. Make sure you have all the information at the top, or all the just key points, the bulk of the material, registration stuff on the bottom. Now, make sure you have waivers. Now, anyone that comes on the training floor for any reason, for any martial reason, even if it's a parent holding the pads, everyone signs a waiver. There's horror stories of people going on the floor to help somebody out, and the next thing you know, their orbital bone is fractured. Before they go on the floor, they got to know what they're getting. I go, hey, listen, here's a little benefit thing. On Saturdays, we do kids classes, and I do it more of a family program where I'll tell the family that one of the parents can go on the floor for no extra fee. The kids, when they go to school, they have homework. And you don't know how to help with some of the homework you can help with, and some of the homework you don't. Well, martial arts, we have homework too. And, if your kids say, hey, Mom, I don't know how to do this form, or I don't know how to do the kick or punch, they might not be able to help. But if they've done a bunch of this, they'll know how to hold a pad at least, so they can help at least some aspect and get that family involvement. Who knows? Might end up being a student. You never can tell, which actually has happened on more than one occasions. So for a seminar, everyone needs to have a flyer. And what I also have in there is a media waiver in there, a media release. So when we saw when we look at the, let's go into the brand. Okay, so today I'm going to take my picture out of this real quick. This is the second last camp we did prior to COVID. That was our May camp. And so I have a waiver in my events, whether it's tournaments, seminars, etc., that they're giving me the rights to use their photos in advertising. Okay. If they don't, we have to make other arrangements. No one's ever complained about that. But I do have some people who I keep out of certain photos because they work in law enforcement or something of that nature, and we need to keep their likeness off the internet. Okay. The other thing, here's the big one: insurance. Now, check with your insurance. Some companies now make you have to have separate seminar insurance. But if you're bringing someone in, in general, if you're doing martial arts, even if you're just training out of your house, you should look at insurance. My guys they'd never sue until someone gets hurt. First time someone get hurt, someone cries foul. It's different up in Canada. They actually have a social health care, so they get help no matter what. We have to pay for insurance. Some businesses don't do that, and limited coverage. So of course, someone gets hurt, people are crying foul. We got to deal with all this other nonsense. So definitely make sure the event is make sure you're insured, and see if you need a rider. So when I do tournaments, I need to have extra insurance for that. Okay, so let me see here. We talked about flyer. We talked about registration. This is my checklist. Just talked about insurance. Here's the big one: profit versus enrichment. Remember that. Now, here's the biggest one. And we also went over on how to create flyers. That's the more stuff, but the biggest one is protecting yourself. Okay? And this might not be what you thought. And I've talked about this before when I would just do live broadcasts before I devoted this as a channel. But let's get into this. When you bring someone in for an event, you need to lay out everything ahead of time. You need to have all the cross the T's and dot the I's. So how many people out there have hosted seminars in the past? Let me ask you that. Anybody? I know there's a little delay, so there's a lot of shenanigans that happen because of seminars, and people don't understand the big picture. So we're going to talk about protecting yourself on two methods. So one, and this is one. I've got people that don't necessarily want to attend the seminar. Oh, Ivan, good, Ivan. So not everyone wants to attend the seminar, or maybe not everyone can do the seminar at the time that it's at. But I've basically had a protocol. I've always been nice with the instructors where if someone came out to teach a seminar, if any of the participants wanted to do a private lesson with the instructor and it didn't cut into my time, I didn't ask for a dime. All they had to do was whatever the instructor was paying, pay that to the instructor, or charging, pay that to the instructor. So let's say your hourly rate's $75 an hour. So I come to you, or actually, I had Michael Harone here. Michael Harone's been out here a whole bunch of times. Leah Harone's son. Great job. OGE, original Harone Escrima. And some people who wanted to do private lessons with him afterwards. I don't charge extra for that. He charges them. I don't put any service fee or anything like that, providing you attended the seminar. If you didn't attend the seminar, then they need to pay something towards me. And people wonder why I want to do that. I'm like, so I flew him out. I put him in a room. I fed him. I did all these things. And you want access to him, but you don't want to contribute to that. Okay? So, someone reached out to Michael Harone. Actually, 2 people in the area reached out to do training with him. They weren't planning on attending the seminar. And I said, Mike, you should take the money, but they need to pay me. And We talked. He knew exactly where I was coming from. It's like he understood that I was taking care of his travel, I was taking care of his meals, taking care of his lodgings. If these people wanted access to him and they weren't going to support the seminar, which would have been the contribution, then they need to contribute to all the expenses it took me to have it. Because especially, think about this. If I lost $500 or $1,000 on the trip and they would just pay him $75 an hour if that's what his fee was, how fair is that to me? When and here's the thing. I've had people tell me, oh, you wouldn't let me see the instructor. I paid for them to be here. My job. I don't have to, when I host someone out here, it is for me and no one else. And you need to have that communication with the person you're bringing out. Okay? They might sit there and say, hey, listen, do you mind if I do some private lessons while I'm out there? Sure. And you work out all the logistics. Now, I don't let people do private lessons off-site, because I've also had another thing almost happen, and it happened to a friend of mine. We'll talk about that in a minute. But if you're paying all the bills for a person to be there, and someone wants to do a private lesson with them but not support your seminar, and you said, yeah, you'll do something, you should ask for some form of contribution to cover the expenses that it took you to bring that person out. It's only fair. You flew the person out, you put them in a hotel maybe, you're paid their seminar fee, and you're feeding them. Well, why should you take all of that financial burden and someone bypass all that? Because if this person, like I said, if they would have attended the seminar, I wouldn't have charged them anything. That would have been their contribution to me to get them there. And then whatever the arrangement between them and the instructor, it's between them. I don't care, long as it doesn't cut into my schedule. But here's the other thing that happened. Someone tried to do that with one of my instructors, and it was going to turn into another seminar. So they weren't going to take any of the financial risk. So I called bullshit on that real fast. But a friend of mine up in Canada hosted a notable martial arts instructor. Someone's calling, I'm not going to answer that. Hosted a noticeable martial art instructor. And what they didn't work out ahead of time is what's going on. And this person ended up doing a seminar down the road. And my friend lost money on the event because they didn't set this level of exclusivity. If someone wants to come in and do a tour and say, hey, Tim, I'm going to do a seminar for you, but I got another guy that wants to do a seminar with me, but he's done this before. He's done martial arts before, or the system before, and your seminar is going to be a basic seminar, and they want to do an advanced seminar. Okay, I'm okay with working with people that way, but then both instructors need to split the bill, split the financial responsibility. What this guy did is double dipped. So he charged the full seminar fee for my friend, got another seminar fee from the other guy. The other guy never contributed to the hotel, the flight, or anything. So wrong. And like I said, I had Michael out here, and someone tried to bring him in. I'm hosting him for a seminar, and then they wanted to do something while he was in town, which would have ended up at a seminar, and they're not sharing in my bill. So it's simple. You want him? Fly him out yourself. Simple as that. Fly him out separately. I had people who wanted access to Professor, and and things happened. It was more for an interview. We went back and forth on things, and I decided not to. And the guy created a big stink about it. I'm like, why? I'm paying for him to be here. You're not. You want the interview? Contribute. If you're going to take time away from me, I'm paying for him to be here for me, and you're taking time away from me, make it up to me. I mean, that's it. I mean, when you're the host, and this is the whole thing about protecting yourself financially, you need to make sure that you protect yourself financially. So when a person comes up, we need to talk. You're hosting and go like, okay, I'm bringing you up for an exclusive deal. You come to Buffalo, you do a seminar for me, and then you go home. You're not doing any other gigs. If that's what you want to do, or if you're sitting there, hey, Tim, I'm going to be on tour. Can I stop in and do something at your place? Sure. Now the price structure changes significantly because you're not coming in just for me. You're going to do other seminars. So they're not going to charge their full bill. So let's say they charge me $2,000 for the weekend to be here in Buffalo to do a seminar for me. But now they're going to do a one-day seminar for me, which would, let's say that's $1,000, plus, I wouldn't pay $1,000 if they're doing another seminar down the road. I would say, all right, I'll do a percentage with you, but I'm only going to guarantee you, but the guarantee would only be $600. I'm not gonna hit a minimum of $1,000. That's half of what you normally would charge me, and there you go. Are you? Hey George, are you in the building yet, or are you texting from my lobby? He did that last time. So you need to clear these things up and just find out what's going on, because you may think you're on the same page as somebody, but you're not. You might not be. And that's why people ask. I've been. Okay, made a stop. Okay, so he's on his way, but still not here yet. Okay, cool. You may think you're on the same page and still not be on the same page. You might be on the opposite side of that same page, but there's still something going on. So let me wrap things up. Let's go in here. So first of all, I'm going to check this off on my thing. Are you doing a seminar for profit or enrichment? And I'm telling you right now, profit's not the way to go. If you make a buck while you're doing further education, you are so far ahead of the game. If you do it, even if you lose, okay, even if it only cost you $500 for that investment, that material you have the rest of your life. And for every lesson that I've paid money for, I made my money back tenfold, easily. Because this is what I do for a living. This is what the topic is, FMA professionals. Even if you're not professional, even if you're looking as a non-for-profit club, it's about saving money versus paying the full bill by yourself. Maybe a group of you can share in the cost. Let me see. So here we go. Ivan. The ones I've done, the guest instructor and I have agreed total payout, expenses plus X amount of days, 1 day for me, 1 day of the seminar, 1 day for private lessons with students. Then all the student fees go through me. Yep, you can do that too. Yep. Don't own a school, no insurance. Yeah, you might want to look at the insurance, brother. Of course, I don't know where you're at. What part of the world are you in? And this is the one downside about this: the lag time of Facebook. So give me a shout out. Where are you from, Ivan? Because I can't figure that out from what I'm looking at here. So, all right. So, profit versus enrichment. Texas. Okay. All right, Ivan. Yeehaw. Well, maybe I'll see you on my next Texas camp. I do something in Dallas. We haven't since COVID. And then Stephenville. Done down there. We've done a camp there as well. So, yeehaw. All right. So, and definitely if I'm out that way, and even if you don't have time to do the whole thing, swing by. It'd be great to meet and greet everybody. So, first of all, you decide what you're doing the seminar for. Secondly, make sure you're covered, insurance and waivers. Third, have a good registration format, whether you do it on paper or I showed you some electronic ways with the software I do. You can easily have a link through Square and doing stuff. And with Spark, the nice thing is I can have a built-in waiver, electronic waiver set up ahead of time, although I still like having a paper backup. Make sure you're doing proper flyers. If you're, don't put it all in the image because it gets too congested. Make sure there's stuff to look underneath. Have a separate paper flyer. And promoting in your school, you can do electronic flyer on televisions. I still have the print flyers right when you walk in. I got tables in my school, so you have little tabletop units that people can see, printed insert flyer. Now, I'm going to do a tour of my school in the future of what a professional Filipino martial arts school can look like. Protect yourself. Make sure that you cover your butt from all the different things, make sure that you and the host are on the same page when it comes to doing paying out what you're doing and stuff like that. Okay, what's the numbers? Does it include this? Does it include that? I mean, go through the checklist. If you're hosting an event, are you paying for travel? Are you paying for lodging? Are you paying for meals? What is the seminar rate going to be? These are the go-to things, and there's plenty of opportunity to make more money off of that. I mean, if we're thinking about, or to minimize costs, because if you're selling T-shirts, don't do a T-shirt for the event. Do not do that, because they're way too expensive. You have to buy so many to make it cheap. And I've seen, including myself, I still got inventory for events that are a decade old. Keep more for souvenirs, and I give them away now. I've given more of my seminar shirts away than I've ever sold. Usually for the camps that I've had here in Buffalo. But you could be selling sticks, knives, whatever. It gives, if the person's going to bring equipment in, find out what they're going to do, set up figure out if you're going to do private lessons and stuff like that. And if you want to see about other places that might want to share, maybe you do a double duty where, hey, listen, the person's coming in for 3 days. Would you like to do an in-house event at your school? And then just talk that over with the instructor, what the cost and stuff like that. So I hope everyone enjoyed today's topic. Please go over to my YouTube channel, Tim Hartman. Look at that one, Tim Hartman. You'll see this ugly mug in there in a color photo versus the black and white. That's the old one. Although it'll be on both eventually. Right now it's streaming directly to the Tim Hartman one. And go over there, like, subscribe. What you'll get is notifications when these things come out in the future. Let's say you can't be here part of the live broadcast. Here's a question. While we're here, do you guys how is the thanks, you are welcome, my friend. Walang amang. How is 11 o'clock doing for everybody? So I'm going to do the screen share real quick. So this is the page right now. You'll see that this is a colored version right here. There's one with a black and white. That's the old channel. They both have the same banner. I'm going to change the other one up a little. But right here, FMA Professional is live at the moment. If you go to the playlists right down here, FMA Professionals, the new one will pop in there. So the first one was how to develop a seminar career. Second one was how to make event flyers, which we talked about last week. This week's going to go in there for how to host seminars. Next week, you are welcome, Thanos. Next week we're going to do how to host a tournament and recommended rules, or not necessarily recommended rules. Why I use the rules I use, and people don't always agree with they don't like what I'm doing per se. But when I explain why, they understand. The big thing for tournaments, it's about time. It's all about time. And you want to make sure that you don't sit there too long, because people get sick and tired of waiting around for stuff. Okay, so Datu's Corner on Monday. Should black belts expire the following Monday, which will be at a special time at 1 o'clock, Americanized Arnis, which just for all of FMA, Arnis Kali Escrima. Is it better than the original version? It's already being a barn burner. I have someone challenging me from the Philippines to a fight already. Hoo-ha! This is going to be a big topic. We'll get into all that. Okay, so everyone, please, first of all, thanks for tuning in. Everybody stay safe and stay sane. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone in the future. And you know what? Thank you for tuning in to FMA Professionals.